proud of the guys, the way they were focused in on this week, taking it 1 week at a time, and then we had a number of guys miss the game, and I thought the guys did a great job of just being resilient. The guys that were called upon to play were prepared and did a good job there. So good to play at home. Crowd was phenomenal again in 2 home games. Just a very unique environment around here. So I appreciate them, and with that, we'll turn it over to you.
John, can you speak to you mentioned the guys stepping up. You were down a lot of players today.
Yeah.
The young kids, like Shakir, for instance, and a couple others. If you just speak to those guys being, like you said, kind of ready to go and contributing.
Yeah, you don't take that for granted. I thought it takes 2. It takes the player and it takes the coach to get them ready to go. And whether it was Shakir, I'm going to leave some names out. Shakir, Isaiah Hodgins out there, Tanner Gentry, Q Morris out there making some plays. I thought the line did a good job. I know I'm jumping around here topic-wise, but the line did a good job helping us run the football. Thought that was we had better detail today in the run game, but my hat goes off to the offensive line. I know that they've been working hard and got a lot of confidence in those guys. And defensively, just good to stand up when we needed to stand up, and had the turnover, had a chance to go up, I think, early, 10 points maybe or something like that, and defense had to come back out and force a 3-and-out. We did that. So a lot to learn from, some good things, obviously, and I guess I left out the defensive guys. Tyrell Dodson that stepped in there and did a good job and led our defense. In the secondary, with DeMar and Quan working together in tandem out there, that was good to see. So the communication, the preparation, real proud of those guys.
Can you, I asked Josh this, and I want to ask you too. Obviously, players are doing things to get open, but it felt like you guys just completely out-schemed them. The receivers were running open. Everybody, it wasn't just one guy. Yeah. So explain, was that just most of great scheming this week, and just explain it?
No, I just think it's good detail. We harped on the detail during the week, and it paid off in the execution, and that's what you got to do, is you got to have the detail in order to execute, and I thought we executed at a high level when we needed to, which is good to see.
Sean, Josh talked about how, I think it was during the walkthrough, he said he kind of saw the way Gabe was moving, and he had a sense of the fact that he was back to close to 100% off that ankle. Did you have that sense, and did you figure he might factor into the game the way he did?
Well, I thought, the last 2 weeks, I know a lot's been talked about Gabe, and he's been pushing through. It's real easy not to push through, but he put the team first, even though he wasn't 100%. And then I just think his process this week in particular really showed, and he got himself exactly where he needed to be to have the game he did, and that's because of what he did during the week.
Opening drive, you're on the 2, 3rd down. Can you maybe walk us through what was said in the headset, or what you know the play that's about to be called? You know what the potential result can be. You're backed up there. As that call is being made by Ken, what's going through your mind in regard to what this could potentially be right here? The home run play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he called for a touchdown is what he said.
Right.
Run the touchdown play. Yeah.
98.
Run the 98-yarder. Yeah, that one. No, I mean, just again, the level of execution was very high right there. There's a chance, because of what happened on the opening kickoff, that we're punting out of our own end zone into the wind, which is not ideal. So we needed a first down at least right there, and the O-line gave Josh time, and the connection between Josh and Gabe was the result that you saw. So, again, the execution was a key factor there.
Sean, you talk about the young guys being ready, coaches getting them ready, but having their veteran teammates believe that young guy is going to be ready. Because we hear Vaughn talk about it, Josh going to Shakir when he's open. What does that mean when you know the vets are buying in that the young guys are going to be ready to go?
Yeah, they help in that. That's for sure. And just really not flinching when things don't go our way with the injuries in this case or anything for that matter. And I think, again, coming out the second half, the way the guys did, again, just not flinching in that regard either, right? When things are going well and we're up like we were, to have the leadership and the wherewithal and the poise to go back out there and play it one play at a time.
Sean, you touched on Khalil already, but for him to prepare for multiple roles in the offense and also for returns, just how hard is that for him to get through a game with that, and how did he hold up and all that?
Yeah, again, very poised young man, very mature for a rookie in particular. So I think it really goes back to his process, the way he prepares, the way he's humble. And Josh does a great job, too, of just leading that offense, whether it be, starting with walkthroughs, meetings, and getting them in the right mindset, the right frame of mind, Steph as well, and Mitch up front, to execute. And that's what it really takes is that week process, that day-to-day focus in order to get the result that we had today.
To kind of pick up on that, Sean, I mean, Vaughn was emphatic about this, but kind of listening to your response here, the poise to kind of keep the foot on the gas at a game that you're well in control of. Vaughn said, whether you're down 17 points in Baltimore or you're in the position you're in today, he called it don't blink. And I guess, do you view it that way, that mindset that your team has, and to what degree do you find that player-driven versus a message that you have?
Oh, 100% player-driven. Yeah, 100% player-driven. It's got to start with the leaders in the locker room and Vaughn and the names I've mentioned, Josh, our captain group, and many more do a really good job of leading that. So I think that's a good thread in our DNA.
It seemed like they maybe were targeting Kyer a little bit early. How is that some of the rookie growing pains that he's just going to have to get through, and then what can he take away from that interception that he got there at the end of the first half?
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can take away from this game. It wasn't all positive, so we'll continue to work. Kyer will continue to work, and we got to make sure we're putting players in position to be successful, and I think we are at times. But there's times we can do a better job too, and Kyer will continue to learn. So there's things we'll go back and watch. I know the guys in that locker room, the coaches as well, feel like, hey, there's some more left on the table that we got to go back to work and make the adjustments that we need to make, Jay, more than anything. And I think same with Kyer in this case.
With run defense, I know you always like it when the defense is a little bit nasty, too. They look like angry tacklers today in the run D in particular. What's your assessment of it? Is the top 3 run defense coming in today and they hold it to 42 yards?
Yeah, it's a team effort, right? And Leslie did a good job, all the defensive staff, getting them through practice, giving them the looks they needed to see, the looks we were anticipating, and then adjusting through the game, too, because they made some hay early, I think, on the first drive, and then I thought the press box communication down to the field was phenomenal, really on both sides of the ball. So that's important, and the players executed. I mean, you got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage, and I thought we did a good job of that, and it took some pressure off of us in other areas.
Sean, to follow up a little bit on what Jay was asking about with Kyer, just talking to him in the locker room, you had no idea that you guys won by 35, man, his first career interception, because he just said, I'm way better than what I showed today.
Yeah.
What have you seen from his makeup, that side of things?
Yeah, well, it's important to him, and he takes it to heart, which is all a good thing. I think part of his learning will be just trying to unplug a little bit once in a while and enjoy a win like this, because it's hard to win. But I really appreciate how much pride he takes in doing his job and doing his job right and at a high level. We'll just continue to work with him, and we'll grow, and he'll grow, and we'll just keep taking it 1 week at a time here.
Going back to your effort defending against the run, you had Ed Oliver and Jordan Phillips return today. How much did they factor into that effort, and what did you see from them? How did they come out of the game? You saw Jordan go down with an injury briefly.
Yeah, I don't know the extent of that injury right now. I'll find out a little bit more here in a few minutes when I'm done here. And again, just good to have those guys back out there. We've missed them for, I think, Ed since the first game and Jordan the last couple of weeks here. But really appreciate the way players have stepped in. And then the added load that was on Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, really appreciate the way those guys have stepped up.
We had asked about James Cook for a few weeks, of just getting him more involved and navigating some of this early season games. So what did it mean for him to get that touchdown today? What did you see on that play?
Yeah, I think it was a good read by him, good cut. The O-line did a good job, and he looked like he had some blocking down the field. So those plays happen not just because of one person, but because of the overall effort in that case on the offense. But habits carry over, right, from the way you practice to the game. Usually, that's what happens in this league. It's very, very seldomly is it when you that they don't carry over one way or the other. So proud of the way he practiced, proud of the way he prepared.
How about his celebration? Not the most boisterous personality, but
I didn't even. What was it?
Into the stands
Did he?
and embrace the fans there?
Yeah, I mean, that's great, right? I mean, here's a young man that played at Georgia, not really from around here, but he's adjusting and to know enough to give Bills Mafia what they so deserve, and I think that's pretty cool to watch a young man have the wherewithal after his first touchdown and the awareness to celebrate with the fans. So that's special.
I think that might have been maybe a little bit of relief. Some struggles in the early going for him and breaking through like that in this game?
It's a feel-good moment for sure, right? You pray for that for these guys, and especially young players like that, and it is an adjustment to the NFL, and he's in the process of making that, and you got to go right back to the drawing board here come Monday. So.
Sean, 4 or 5 games you've pitched shutouts defensively in the second half, just 7 points allowed all season in the second half. What has been going so right defensively after halftime for you guys?
I just think, again, going back to the communication that coaches have and from the booth to the sideline, and then the communication at halftime to the players and the adjustments that they're making. As I mentioned, I think even going back to preseason, Jay, that's important for us. And then the execution.
Coach, is this a good learning lesson for the younger players to play in weather conditions like this, knowing that we're getting to November and December?
Oh, yeah. As you guys know, very rarely is it is the wind a 5-mile-per-hour wind here. We had a dry day, which is, we can check that box, but the wind was the way it was. So I think it's learning for all new players on our team. Sam, as a punter, T. Bass and Reed have been around it a few years, but I thought there were some good moments there and some moments that we have to learn from because we'll be playing in it again. All right, thanks, guys.